Hello!
And welcome
to Nightmare Nation,
a paranormal-themed podcast where we talk about haunted places around the world.
And scary things.
And ghosts.
And demons.
And haunted houses.
And witch.
Cults. Aliens.
Woo!
So I kind of realized as I was starting to say it that haunted houses is literally what I just said when I said haunted places around the world. But also, to be fair, not everywhere we talk about is a house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a structure.
Yes. A location. Not even, because cemeteries. We've done cemeteries.
We have.
So a location that has been known to have paranormal things happen.
Yes.
Sometimes they're haunted houses. Okay, so I was fine.
That's what we talk about here on this podcast that you listen to every single week.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesdays at 8:00 p.m.
Central
Standard Time. We are coming at you again in Anna's my closet.
Yep.
I'm Anna.
Hey, I'm Annie.
Woo!
Oh my God!
57 seconds in! We are on a roll today. Boom! Shit.
That is possibly like the best we've ever done.
Done with this episode. That's all you guys get today.
You just get introductions. That's it.
Because we're just so excited.
That is amazing. We actually remembered to introduce ourselves before we got to the actual topic of the episode.
Yeah.
Which is what we should be doing every time.
But we don't.
Yeah.
Because we just get too excited.
I know.
We just want to talk to you guys about scary things.
Yeah, and we want to talk to you about the horror movies that we've been watching and all the random bullshit that goes on in our lives. There's a lot to get through.
There is. And we just don't have time to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, sorry. If you don't know us by now, too bad.
Not our fault.
Sorry.
You should probably know us by now.
Probably.
We got like 55 episodes out there.
Yeah, holy shit. That's so many.
It really is.
We just started this as like a random like, hey, Anna, want to do a podcast with me about scary things? And she's like, yes! And here we are freaking 55 episodes later, complete amateurs in every way, but having a blast.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's perfect.
It's great.
It's all we need in life right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we are.
This isn't a scary movie, and it has nothing to do with our podcast. Oh. But guess what? Anders and I started watching yesterday.
What did you watch?
Well, actually, it was 2 days ago. It's called Ink Master. And
ink or ink?
Ink.
Ink.
Like tattoos.
Yeah, okay.
So it's essentially a tattoo competition show.
Yeah.
Where, have you heard of it?
Yeah.
I had never seen it before, but I saw, and when I opened up YouTube the other day, it like popped up as like a recommended video, like worst tattoos from Ink Master Season 1. And I was like, what is this show? And I'm like watching it, and Anders are like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my whole freaking life. It's an entire...
It's pretty sweet.
Have you seen like seasons of it?
I've seen it, like bits and pieces of it, and like other shows similar to it.
It's so cool. Mm-hmm. It's essentially like Top Chef, but for tattoos. And some of the tattoos they do, I'm like, what the hell? I would never get that in 100 years. And some of them I'm like, holy shit, that is cool.
Uh-huh.
And it makes me want to get more tattoos.
Perfect.
So that's all I can think about because we binged an entire season on Friday, and now I'm just like,
So now you have all sorts of tattoo ideas now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I want to get a lot of tattoos.
Remember, we're switching from piercings to tattoos now.
Right. We have to take a break from ear piercings for a while. We ran out of places.
I'm kind of getting sick of... I've literally been cleaning my ears for the past, like...
4 years?
4 years, is it?
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
I'm just done. I'm done soaking my head in freaking saline solution. I'm sick of it.
Sticking your nose in a shot glass of salt water. Yeah, I know. It's
terrible.
A pain. It's a pain.
Gosh.
But they're so cute.
They are so cute, and I just really like them.
I'm getting irritated with mine because I can't ever get comfortable when I'm sleeping.
Oh.
Like laying on them. One of them or another. There's like so many. It's like, if this one's not mad today, it's this one. And I'm just like, fuck. I can't get comfortable ever. Anders is like, come snuggle with me, come lay on my chest. I'm like, no, it hurts my piercings. I'm not laying on your chest.
Half the time I have to like cup my hand around my ear.
And then my hand falls asleep.
Yep.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's terrible. My only problem one is my frickin' rook.
Really? My rook is fine. My conch still gets sore if I sleep on it.
Oh.
It's so big.
See, that one's fine. My tragus will occasionally get angry, but my freaking cartilage is finally healed. Finally.
Yeah.
But my rook, I don't know if it just gets dirty quicker in that little space.
Yeah,
but it gets wet and I clean it every day.
Yeah.
But it's still just getting it's fucking angry.
Mine is fine. My rook hasn't been mad. It like still gets little crusties once in a while, but So
let's just get tattoos now instead.
And so I haven't really
Sounds
been
perfect.
watching, normally on like a Friday or Saturday, Andres and I would watch scary movies, but we've been obsessed with Ink Master, so that's what we've been doing instead.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a great show.
It is great.
Have I watched anything scary? What did I binge? We watched a new show on Netflix. I need to look it up. And when Ben started playing it, I was like, what the hell are we watching? Because it is so out of the norm from what he normally watches. But it's such a good show. It's Queen's Gambit.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah. It's good.
So good.
It's good. It's good.
He's like, yeah, it's about this girl who plays chess. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that seems like the opposite of what Ben would want to watch.
Right? Exactly. I'm like, okay, I guess we can watch it. And then we started. I was like, oh.
It gets
this is
better.
Really good.
Yeah. I was really irritated with the first episode because I thought the part where she's like laying in bed looking up at the ceiling, like watching the chess game. I'm like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, what the hell? This is stupid.
Yep.
And then it got better.
And then it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's just her process.
Yeah, I know. I just thought like it was so cheesy and hokey and stupid. But then we move past that and get on to other more interesting things. So yeah, it's quite good.
I liked it.
And I really like, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. The girl that plays her. She's been in a couple of scary movies that I've seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's really pretty.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She's in The Witch.
I haven't seen that one.
What? Shut up.
No.
Shut up. You haven't seen The Witch?
The Witch I have not seen.
Shut up.
I'm shutting up.
Oh my God. How have you not seen that movie? It's so good.
Isn't it on Netflix?
Yeah.
I feel like I've passed it a couple times and just haven't watched it.
It's more of a slow burn, and it's like a period piece because it takes place in like the 1500s in like puritanical England. So they like have this very old-timey way of talking or whatever, but it's really, really well done. It's super unnerving.
I think I like looked at it and thought, because it reminded me of, what is it? It's an older scary movie. And they're in these woods, and the woods are, like, haunted by this creature. The Village.
Oh! The M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Is that... Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Yes. With the people with the pig faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Village.
I think so.
Yes.
Because then the creature is in the woods, but isn't it one of the actual villagers?
Yes, it's like, it turns out that these people living in this old-timey village are actually living in modern-day society.
Oh, yeah, because they had that giant wall.
Yeah, so
Yep.
they're like, the people who are dressing up as scary wood monster, pig-face creature things are just trying to keep people from leaving and discovering that they live in the modern
That's
world.
right.
Yes.
Yep.
So.
That's what it is.
Yep, The Village, everyone.
Village.
That's The Village.
take
M.
this
Night
back.
Shyamalan.
All right, so I gotta watch The Witch now.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
It's good.
Got
it. Okay, so that was horror movie corner time.
Yep. Because I haven't watched anything else.
Yeah.
That's
I
horror
haven't
movie.
either. I don't have anything else to report.
My mom gave me her login for Disney Plus.
Yes.
So I watched the Lizzie McGuire show on Friday,
Did
and it was the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God.
After watching it, I was like, oh my God, this is the cheesiest show in the world. And this used to be my favorite show.
I did watch a horror movie. I forgot.
Oh.
It's called Nine Dead.
9 Dead.
It was more of a thriller. It wasn't really horror. It was pretty stupid, but it had the girl who played the original, like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, really?
From, like, the 90s, like, 2000s
Yeah.
series.
Melissa Joan Hart?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was in it, and she
That's
was
strange.
terrible.
Oh.
Like, terrible actress. Oh my God. She was like giving this whole entire like monologue about this like really horrible, like traumatizing, like rape experience that she had. And she was just like so weirdly like unbelievable and over the top cartoony and just like, I'm like, I've seen you in other things. Like, why are you so bad? It was really bad. But the whole premise of the movie was you have these 9 strangers that wake up in a room just like freaking Saw, like any other thriller movie like that. And they all have to figure out why they're there and, like, how they're all connected to each other. And every 10 minutes, the guy who kidnapped them comes in and kills one of them.
Oh.
So they have a finite amount of time to figure out the whole puzzle thing. So, like, literally the entire movie takes place in this one room. And despite starting out really dumb, I was actually intrigued by the end to figure out the puzzle. I was like, okay, I'm actually kind of interested in the story of, like, why they're all here. But the acting was so bad. And I'm like, why? You were freaking Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I watched you on TV as a kid. Like, why are you so bad? Like, it was bizarre.
Maybe scary movies just aren't her jam.
No.
She can't act
I
that
don't
way.
think so. I think it was not the correct setting for her to apply her talents.
Oh, gosh.
So,
All right.
90s flashback.
Those are the good old days.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So,
friends.
I feel like this is sort of a throwback episode because we haven't done one of these in a while.
We haven't.
We're doing a state hospital / asylum.
Yeah.
Which takes us back to our, like, roots way back in the beginning
Our,
of
like,
the podcast.
first 2 episodes.
I know.
That's so great.
So-
And I just find these places just so fascinating.
Yes.
Because they just,
The whole history of mental health care and treatment and what happened at the asylums and so how much of it was just horrible and unfair and just a total lack of understanding of how mental health works and like how psychological disorders work. So you lead to weird things like lobotomy treatments because they just didn't know any better.
So let's just shove a pitchfork in your eyeball.
Yeah, a pitchfork.
That's where I went.
Yikes.
That wasn't the right one.
That would be upsetting. Have you seen the movie The Crazies?
Don't they all wear masks?
No. It's about a town where the water gets contaminated and everyone starts acting like crazy.
No, I
psychotic.
think I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. I don't remember any masks from that movie, but there's a scene where someone's face gets stabbed with a pitchfork.
Oh, delicious.
It's pretty terrible,
That's
and the
good.
camera does not pan away. It's
Of
just
course
like
not.
the chink, and you're like,
There it is.
Ugh.
Delicious.
So not pitchforks necessarily,
No,
but other
ice pick
yes,
is what it is.
ice pick lobotomies.
Yep.
And I remember being really embarrassed to discover that my mental image of an ice pick lobotomy was not, in fact, an ice pick, but a pickaxe, which is not the correct thing. You're like, ding, ding, light bulb. Well, I was picturing, like, the people who, like, climb up the rocky
God.
slopes and icy stuff.
Oh, that would
and
be
they
like the
have,
size of your eyeball.
I know. I was like, they don't actually use one of those, do they? You're like, yeah. I'm like, what? Oh, it's because the actual pick, not a freaking pickaxe.
Yep.
So
It's okay.
anyway,
We figured it out.
I know what I'm talking about now.
Exactly.
Sort of. At least 50%.
Yeah.
So we are going to the Indiana Central State Hospital today.
Which I didn't know existed.
I didn't
until
either.
I found it on Google.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
good job.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My sources are Wikipedia and asylumprojects.org.
Ooh.
So, the Central State Hospital, formerly referred to as the Central Indiana Hospital for the Insane,
Oh my.
was... And just...
That is a mouthful.
Well, it's the Central Indiana Hospital for the Insane. Like, that word has just kind of a different connotation today, I feel like.
It really does.
So, it's just funny to look back at what it used to be called. But so, it was a psychiatric treatment hospital located in Indianapolis. So, the Indiana legislature authorized the establishment of a, quote, hospital for the insane as early as 1827. But the actual construction happened a few years later, so it got delayed for quite a while. So the Indiana Hospital for the Insane finally opened in November 1848 with a grand total of 5 patients.
Oh, wow.
5 whole patients.
Oh, whoa.
I know.
So many.
So many. I was like, 5? They built an entire hospital for 5
5?
people? Like,
Normally we have like around 70 to 80 on initial opening.
Yeah, and then it multiplies by like
Yes.
100 when they have major overcrowding issues,
Of
which
course.
of course this place also had major overcrowding. But they started with 5. I
That's
couldn't believe
ridiculous.
that. So yeah, not that many people. At the time, the hospital consisted of one brick building on a 100-acre plot on Washington Street, which was west of downtown. In 1889, the hospital was renamed the Central Indiana Hospital for the Insane. Oh, they added the Central. I was like, wait, I just said that.
I was like, I feel like you did say that.
Yeah, so they added the Central Indiana Hospital for the Insane.
Okay, got it.
So, it was known by that after 1926, and by 1928, physicians cared for nearly 3,000 patients. So,
Oh my.
they expanded a little bit. So, from 1848 to 1948, the hospital grew until it encompassed 2 massive ornate buildings.
Oh.
So, they had one for male and one for female patients. They were separated for treatment.
Okay.
They had a pathological department, which actually became pretty famous, and they made some pretty interesting discoveries in that pathology department, which I'll talk about later. They had a sick hospital for the treatment of physical ailments, a farm colony where patients engaged in occupational therapy, a chapel, an amusement hall complete with an auditorium, billiards, and bowling alleys.
Ooh, that makes sense to go bowling.
Sign me up.
That's exciting.
I know. I'm like, I'd go farm and bowl all day. That'd be great.
Sounds perfect.
A bakery.
Oh, man.
A firehouse. And a cannery manned by patients.
Oh, damn.
So, like, they, like, canned tomatoes, I guess, from the farm. I don't know.
Wow.
I know.
So they're actually trying to do something for them.
Yeah, they're, like, giving them tasks to work on and teaching them life skills of, like, how to do things. Yeah, it's just cool.
Wow.
And they also had, of course, plenty of gardens and fountains to make it a serene, beautiful, calming setting.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually sounds like, of all the places we've talked about, like, not a bad place to go, all things considered.
Right.
And in fact, when I was looking at the history, I couldn't find any, like, major allegations. There was some, like, questions of patient abuse, like, later on, but there weren't any, like, questionable procedures being done that I could tell. There weren't any, like, really gruesome deaths or anything. It's just kind of like a hospital for the insane.
Wow.
But a nice one.
Weird.
So, the more ornate of the two massive buildings came to be known as the Seven Steeples, and this building, which housed female patients, was designed using the Kirkbride Plan for mental health care facilities. So, the Kirkbride Plan was a system of mental asylum design created by psychiatrist Thomas Story Kirkbride.
Huh.
So, this psychiatrist, I guess, became an architect and decided to design mental asylums. I guess.
He was a psychiatrist who turned architect?
Well, he was a psychiatrist who, like, designed the systems for, like, mental asylums. So I don't know if he, like, designed the building or just helped design the layout a little bit or what.
Or if it was, like, the programs?
Like, treatment programs. Yeah, I'm not totally sure.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, Thomas Story Kirkbride. There you go. A little fun fact. A little fun fact.
Okay.
For half a century, the complex housed mentally ill patients from all regions of Indiana. So by 1905, however, the state had built mental health institutions in nearby Evansville, Logansport, Madison, and Richmond, thereby relieving an overcrowded Central State Hospital of some of its patient load and leaving it to treat only those from the, quote, Central District, which is an area of like 38 counties that are essentially in the middle portion of the state. So
they needed like 6 different insane asylums?
Oh, yes. Them Indianians are pretty crazy.
Like, why? Do you need that many? Is that...
I don't know.
I feel like back then, people just discarded the family members that they didn't want and shoved them into these asylums because they didn't want to take care of them and pretended to give them some sort of diagnosis.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in hell
they needed that many.
There's that many.
Well, it's possible, too, now that I'm looking at it, like Madison may not have been in Indiana. That could have been Madison, Wisconsin. It could have been other ones nearby. Okay. I'm not sure. It implied that they were all in Indiana, but I don't know, I guess. I don't know if, like, Logansport is in Indiana. I don't know anything about Indiana geography, so... Yeah, it's crazy, though. Just, like, the idea that you'd want to just be rid of someone in your family because they're inconvenient to you, so you go dump them. I guess this one seemed relatively nice compared to other ones, but you can't just, like, shove people in a facility, especially when 9 times out of 10 those people didn't actually have, like, treatable mental disorders.
Yep.
Like, I think I actually mentioned... I can't remember if I mentioned this or not on a previous episode, but when we went and toured... when I was VP of the psych club at our school, we did a tour of an asylum, and they had the old, like, the original logbook where they would, when they admitted patients, they would write down, like, the reason for admittance, and they had, like, a page of that logbook in their museum, which was cool. And one of them was because this guy wanted to marry his girlfriend who was not Catholic, and he was Catholic, and his family was like, no way in hell you're marrying a non-Catholic girl, and they freaking dumped him in an insane asylum.
Seriously?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's obnoxious.
I
and then
know.
They're stuck there because they didn't admit themselves, so they can't get out.
And there's no process for, like, appealing that admittance. Like, you don't get to, like, argue on behalf of yourself. They just say, like, nope, he's insane, and then you get dumped off, and there's nothing you can do.
That's fucking
He died
bullshit.
there. He lived there the rest of his life.
That's terrible.
Isn't that terrible? Also...
God.
Fuck you, parents.
Seriously.
Like, that's your child.
Like, just kick them out of the house then. Don't send them to a freaking asylum.
Or just let them marry who they want to marry.
Exactly.
Like, don't be assholes.
God.
So.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Huh.
Okay, so back to the pathology department. Fun fact. So fun. The pathology department would gain international renown in 1931 when Dr. Walter Breuch,
I like the last one.
Brutish made significant discoveries in the treatment of syphilis.
Oh, yay!
Yay!
Oh, that's so exciting.
He discovered that malaria triggered the production of white blood cells that consumed both syphilis and malaria.
Oh.
So I guess if you give patients malaria, it helps treat their syphilis.
Oh, good.
Prior to his discovery, syphilis had been the largest cause of mental illness, which I also didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, it like apparently wears down on your like mental capacity, I guess. I don't know.
Well, then maybe that's why there were so many insane in like the 1800s, because syphilis was just going
such
around.
a freaking thing. Yeah. So this major breakthrough made significant headway in treating syphilis until penicillin was invented.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know. I was like, that's
I feel like
actually...
I need to go read up on some syplis
I
things.
wasn't kidding when I said it was a fun fact. It's very fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
I just don't want to start googling syphilis,
malaria,
and then all of a sudden I go on Facebook and it's like, "Do you need treatment for syphilis?
Oh my God.
Here is this brand." Like,
It's
no.
unreal how quickly the Facebook ads react to something I Google searched fucking 5 seconds ago.
Yep.
I'm like, get out of my head. Get out of my life.
Go away.
I see ads for shit I never Google but talk about
Yep.
with people. And I'm like, fuck off.
You have an option in Facebook to turn off the searching so that you don't get those types of ads.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
I like it because there are some things that I search that I just don't want to buy, and then they give you deals then on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That then I'm like, okay. Click.
Yeah. I feel like at one point, because we've been searching a lot of like cocktail recipes and I buy a lot of like, I buy most of my wine online now Facebook, I don't know if they think I'm an alcoholic or what, but it's like, cheers after alcohol aid. And like, here's 5,000 other like hangover remedies and like wine subscription packages. And like every single fucking ad is like wine or hangover stuff. And I'm like, you guys,
I'm not.
I do most of my alcohol research online. Like, when I'm looking at recipes, I look online, and when I buy my wine, I buy it online. Okay, leave me alone.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay.
Stupid Google.
Back to the hospital.
Back to syphilis.
Back to syphilis. So yes, apparently Dr. Walter Breuch discovered some shit. And that was pretty cool. So by the early 1970s, most of the hospital's Victorian-era buildings had been declared unsound and were demolished.
Oh.
So in their place, the state constructed brick buildings of a nondescript institutional design.
What the fuck does that mean?
Just like boring old brick buildings.
Okay.
Yep. So
Cool.
instead of having beautiful like Victorian Gothic era style buildings, they tore them down and put brick shit up.
Good.
Yep. So instead of making it feel like you're staying in a cool castle, you feel like you're in a freaking like school or institution.
Perfect.
Great.
Just what you needed.
Yep.
For the insane.
So the more modern buildings and the medical staff who worked in them continued to serve the state's mentally ill until allegations of patient abuse and lack of proper funding sparked an effort to forge new alternatives to institutionalization, which in turn led to the hospital's closure. Yeah, God forbid,
course.
like there's another way to actually treat people aside from like institutionalizing them in a building where they're cut off from their family and friends.
Right.
Like, let's try some like outpatient care.
Yeah.
Or like therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do something
There's
different than
other
just shoving them
options.
into a room and calling it good.
Yeah. So on June 30th, 1994, Central State Hospital officially closed its doors after 148 years of service.
Oh, damn.
The state used the land for a variety of purposes for the next decade, including a location for the American Red Cross and the state motor vehicle pool.
Oh, that's an interesting combination.
I know. I don't really even know what that means. Like carpool? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
The old pathology building was restored and is now used as the Indiana Medical History Museum, while a new fire station was constructed along Washington Street. In 2003, the city of Indianapolis purchased the site from the state for $400,000.
Oh, that seems really cheap.
It seems super cheap. It's 100 acres, and it
Holy
has a lot of
shit.
buildings. Yeah, I don't know.
For only 400,000?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I know, it's cheap. It's also weird that, like, it's the whole concept of, like, the city in Indiana buying land from the state of Indiana in
Yeah.
which the city already exists. Like,
That doesn't really make sense.
I get that that's a thing, but it just, like, weirds me out to think about. I don't know.
I don't understand.
Yeah. It feels like buying from yourself a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
But what's really cool, so as of October 2015, all of the patient buildings that remained have been demolished, and only a handful of other buildings on the west side of the property remain. But the administration building was refurbished for student housing.
Oh, that's cool.
They had, like, students move in and live there. I'm like, I want to live there.
That'd be sweet.
That's so cool. And the medical museum is still there. So
yeah.
That's there. There's unmarked graves on the northwest corner of the property that have yet to be located and mapped.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's all I found on that. I was like, tell me more about unmarked graves and, like, buried patients, but that's all I found.
Oh.
So they're unmarked and they have yet to be located. So there's just unknown bodies buried on the property, I guess.
Jesus.
So
just the patients who just died, they just shoved them.
I guess so.
Oh.
So that seems kind of mysterious to me.
A little bit.
And I want to know more about it, but I couldn't find anything else. So.
Conspiracy.
Get out them dogs and sniff out the bodies.
Yep.
Last fun fact, the site is the subject of the 2006 film Central State, Asylum for the Insane, a documentary produced and directed by independent filmmaker Dan T. Hall of Vismo Films.
Ooh.
How exciting.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Documentary.
Yeah.
About insane asylums.
Heck yeah, that's my kind of documentary.
Let's do it.
Perfect. So, we're here to talk about scary things.
Yeah.
So why not talk about some haunted places in this hospital?
I mean, to be fair, the horrible treatment of mental health patients is also scary.
Yeah.
But I also want to hear about ghosts.
Yeah, you do.
So let me hear it.
I will. So there's 5 main areas that people have witnessed or encountered spiritual energy within this state hospital. So I got my sources from hauntedhouses.com and WRTV.com.
Nice.
Don't know how reliable that one is.
I don't know. It's got TV in it.
Exactly. So the first location is the old powerhouse basement. So I think the powerhouse basement was where they powered the whole hospital, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that would make sense.
They had like
a generator room. Yeah.
Yep. So maintenance workers, when it was a hospital, would go down to the basement and shovel out the ashes of the dead bodies at night.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm thinking that it was used like where they burned bodies.
Oh, they like cremated them in the generator room?
Something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It may have been a combination of generators and like a crematorium-ish.
Okay.
Kind of
cool room
area. Maybe they used the heating. They burned bodies of the dead victims to heat the hospital.
Oh my god, that would be so terrible. They're recycling. They're being environmentally friendly.
Terrible that would be.
Oh my god, that is... I'm going to pretend like that's not a thing.
It's a total possibility that could happen.
Yeah.
And we just don't know.
Yeah.
But, so they would shovel out the ashes of dead bodies at night. So these workers would often claim hearing a woman coming from the corner of the basement. Just hearing her.
Like, she had a female voice or, like, high heels? Like, how'd they know it was a woman?
I think they heard voices.
Okay.
The source I got this from, they didn't really give a lot of specifics.
The old vague ghost story situation.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So there are also shadows of entities that have been seen moving from cement post to cement post in the basement, in the pillars. There was also an employee at one time who decided to take a nap on break in the basement near the pumping station, and he was woken up by being choked by unseen hands.
Oh, God.
He was able to get up and break away from the grasp to turn on the light, and when he did, no one was around, and there were red marks on his neck.
Ew, I hate that when there's actual, like, physical marks left behind.
Yep. Terrifying.
Can I tell you about a dream I had last night?
Yep, you can.
It was a really long, weird dream. I won't tell you all of it, but at one point during the dream, there was someone who we were like staying in a cabin, and there was someone in our cabin who every time she was left alone, I don't remember who it was, she was like claiming that she was being attacked and like assaulted by ghosts, and so she was scared to be left alone, and no one like believed her, and so we all like left to like go do something, and we came back and she was like lying on the floor like unconscious, and we're like, oh no, she got attacked by a ghost. And while we were standing in the room, something grabbed my arm. And I could feel it in my dream. Like, I could feel a force, like, grabbing me and trying to pull my arm. But, like, nothing was there, obviously. But in my dream, I could see, like, indentations on my sweatshirt sleeve from, like, fingerprints as though something were trying to grab me.
Fuck that.
And I could see, like, the outlines of, like, fingers grabbing my wrist, like, on my sleeve in my dream. And I was like, I woke up and was like, oh my God. No! And I almost woke up under, so I was like, I had a bad dream. It was so scary.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So that just popped into my head when you
like
said
that.
unseen hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was creepy.
At least you didn't, like, actually wake up to it.
Oh my God, no. No, it was just my dream. But it was like, you know how, like, dreams, even when you're, like, talking about them after the fact, you're like, it's not really that scary. But in the moment, when you wake up, you're like,
it's terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. Your brain just, like, makes you feel more afraid than you should be, I guess. But, yeah.
Yep.
So that happened.
That's fun.
Yep.
I hate those dreams.
Yep.
Okay, so then also in the basement, there is a coal conveyor belt that would turn on and off by itself. So our next building is a pathology building.
Our favorite syphilis joint.
I love the syphilis.
Yay.
So this building, like Annie said, was used to help with syphilis and was also used to examine the patients who died to learn more about their mental illness. So people often hear noises coming from the basement when no one was around.
Oh.
The
basement of the pathology building?
Yeah.
Yeah, why the basement?
Why do they just live in the basement?
Like, do you just like being underground? Like, what is the appeal?
I don't know.
It's darker down
dark
there?
and dank and damp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah. The third area is the administration building, and footsteps can be heard walking across the lobby to the window in the front of the main desk and then back again. Just someone just walking back and forth all day long.
Getting their steps in.
Waiting for patients to arrive, doing their job and while they're dead.
Sure.
You know. Our fourth location is the tunnels or catacombs that connect the buildings. So
There's catacombs?
Of course.
What?
Like in almost every asylum, they have to have some tunnel to be able to transport the bodies without others seeing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that's why they did that.
Yep.
to not upset other people.
Yes.
And be like, well,
people are just dying left and right.
Sorry, guys.
So there was a patient back in the day by the name of Al who went missing one night in a non-secure wing. The police and hospital workers couldn't find him anywhere on or off the grounds, so it was assumed that he had made a successful escape from the hospital. Al's body was eventually discovered in a recessed area of the tunnel a while later, and he was just dead down there.
Did he, like, starve to death down there? He, like, escaped and then got stuck? Or...
I'm not really certain on the specifics. I would assume if he was probably insane or drugged up, he probably got lost. Yeah. Especially being in the tunnels, if they connect to all the different buildings within the hospital, that he probably got confused and then...
Just stuck down there?
Got stuck.
Oh, that's so terrible. Oh.
But then how... If the police and hospital workers searched, they should have found him.
They didn't search very good.
I guess not. They're just like, well, whatever.
Well, he could have been, like, hiding somewhere. I don't know how many nooks and crannies there are down in the tunnels, but it's possible he could have been hiding and then, like, went back and then was trying to leave and, like, I don't know, maybe he, like, broke his ankle or something and then was stuck down there. Could have. Terrible.
Yeah.
But poor guy.
So then a couple years later, there was a female patient who was known for wandering down the steps to the tunnel.
Of course.
And she was known to talk to Al.
Oh, great.
She was just going down there to have a little combo with him. And now that's it.
I bet he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Little Al.
They're just hanging out down there. So workers would often hear moans coming from a dirt floor room off of the tunnel, which had chains and restraints on the walls. So I'm assuming they probably held patients in there as like a who the fuck knows.
That's the stuff of nightmares. A dirt room off of an underground tunnel with chains hanging from the walls.
It just makes me think of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They're just stuck in their dungeons.
Yeah, that's so terrible. Oh.
And to be shackled on the walls.
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
For what purpose? Like,
right?
I guess, like, the only thing I can think of is if you're, like, transporting patients between the buildings and you need to, like, temporarily hold them somewhere, but, like, have them, like, strapped to a gurney or something. Don't, like, freaking shackle them to a dirt wall. Like,
yep.
That's, it's not sitting right with me.
And then our last location are, of course, the dormitories. So maintenance workers have heard cries and screams coming from the dorms, similar to the patient cries when they stayed there.
Oh.
And then on the second floor, there is an entity that is typically seen dressed in a bathrobe and is seen running down the hall.
You go.
He just wants to escape.
Yeah. And,
Wants to get out.
or he wants to, like, run down the hallway and then, like, flash somebody
Yeah.
in his bathrobe.
That sounds like fun.
Cool. That's what I want to do in the afterlife.
In 2006, the Indianan Paranormal Investigations Group were asked by a documentary filmmaker to make a film at the hospital.
Was it Dan T. Hall? The guy who made the documentary I talked about? From Vismo Films?
Maybe. It is a possibility that was him.
Because it came out in 2006!
It probably is then.
Oh my god! You go, Dan.
I didn't write down his name.
Okay.
But I would assume, since it is 2006.
It took like a full 30 seconds for me to realize it was the same year. So.
So it probably is, and
Props.
we should watch it
Props.
now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
When they were in the administration building, very soon after setting everything up, in quotes, this was one of the lead investigators' story, we began our investigation in the admin building, and we set up a base camp there in one of the rooms on the second floor, Zois said.
Zois.
Zois, Zoiass. It was hot. It was the summertime, and we were trying to figure out how to open up the windows. And one of our first experiences there was trying to get these windows open, and all of a sudden, 3 of us heard a voice say, "Pull down from the top." I asked everyone in the room who knew how to get the windows open. Everybody said they didn't know how to open the windows, and they didn't say anything.
So the ghosts are like helpfully being like, this is how you open the windows.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're just there to help out.
Like, you guys are struggling real hard. Pull down.
Pull down. That's how you get it open. And Zois also said that she heard a childlike voice later on during the investigation.
Ew.
So.
There shouldn't be children there. I don't think they hospitalize children.
I don't know if they do in that one. I feel like
Yeah.
other ones we've covered,
yes,
they have.
yes, other ones. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So that is the Indiana State Hospital.
Yes, also known as the Central State Hospital or
Central
the
State.
Indiana Hospital for the Insane or the Central State Indiana Hospital for the Insane. Lots of different names.
I was to say any more? You got...
No, that's all I got.
Okay.
I was Googling it and like 14 different articles all had different names like popped up. I'm like,
Is this the right location?
I seriously almost texted you and was like, am I looking at the right place here? Like, I don't, there's so many different names for it. I'm not totally sure.
It is.
So,
Yeah. So there it is, friends.
there it is.
So go visit it.
So go check it out. Make sure
Let
it's
us
legal
know.
to be on the property. Don't
Yeah.
trespass.
Yeah. They
but-
have a museum that you can go to.
Yes, go to the museum.
And then that might be haunted. Because we were going to do the museum at first. I was like, but this museum is on the hospital.
Let's just do the history of the hospital.
Yeah, which
Yes.
made more sense. Instead
Totally.
of doing the history of a museum of a location.
Yeah. If you've been there, let us know.
Yeah. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, we do.
Send us in your story.
Yeah.
NightmareNation19@gmail.com, please.
Yes. If you've been to any of the places we've talked about on the podcast, if you've experienced anything paranormal, if anyone you know has experienced anything unexplained or strange, we want to know.
Heck yeah.
Send her in.
Send them.
Also, we have we hope you enjoyed our flashback, Throwback Thursday, not flashback.
I mean, Flashback Friday.
Yeah,
Throwback Thursday.
But, yeah.
Same thing.
Eh.
That's fine.
We hope you enjoyed our ridiculous picture from the airport in Atlanta.
Yeah.
This week, we're going back to our regularly scheduled Craft Cocktail Cult.
Craft Cocktail Cult.
Oh, we were so
I
close.
was so close on that one. What are we making this week, Annie?
We got a recipe for you.
What is it?
What is it called?
Oh.
Shit.
We are not prepared. It looks quite tasty.
It's an apricot bourbon sour.
Apricot bourbon sour, friends.
So I made one of these earlier this week. It was delicious. But just a note, I did not have apricot brandy. I used peach brandy. I'm assuming the flavor is quite similar.
Yeah, and
know-
I will be making it as well, and I'll be using an apple brandy, because that's the brandy I have.
Yeah, so substitute with a flavored fruity brandy of your choice. It'll probably still taste good.
Yeah.
So the recipe we're doing involves making your own simple syrup, of course, so make sure you have some of that handy. So what you're going to do is, in a shaker, you're going to combine an egg white, just the white, not the yolk.
Don't
that
add
would
the
be
yolk.
disgusting.
Please don't do that.
An egg white bourbon, which is 1 ounce, and then 1 ounce of apricot brandy, 3/4 of an ounce fresh squeezed lemon juice, and 3/4 of an ounce simple syrup in a cocktail shaker. Do not add ice yet, just the actual drink ingredients. Shake for 30 seconds, then add your ice and shake for another 30 seconds and strain into a glass. And if you want to be real fancy, you can garnish with some little cocktail cherries, which they do in the picture that I'm looking at, and it's super cute.
Yeah, little Luxardo cherries.
Yeah, so you get a little like a foam from the egg white on top, and it makes it kind of creamy and delicious, and it's just super fresh, and
Sounds so good.
it's quite good.
I feel like the way that they mix their ingredients is complete opposite from how I've done egg whites.
Do you normally add them like after?
So you normally mix the alcohols first with the ice. You strain out your drink of the ice, and then you pour your drink back into the shaker, add your egg white, and then shake to get the froth, and then pour in your glass.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if it makes a difference. I feel like adding the egg white last gets you more froth. I don't know how. I mean,
We had a
decent
good amount of froth. Yeah. I had more froth than they have in this picture.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know, when you said that, I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It worked for us.
Yeah.
We can give it a try.
Either way.
It's delicious.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's quite yummy. And I love anything like whiskey sour, amaretto sour, anything with that like lemon juice and simple syrup is just
So good.
so good. So make one, try it, let us know what you think.
Tag us in your picture making these drinks, because we want to know.
Make sure you check us out on social media at our Facebook page, Nightmare_Nation19, or on the Insta, Nightmare.Nation19.
Check us out. Like us. Follow us. Subscribe.
Talk to us.
Talk to us. Send us comments and likes and messages, because I like talking to you.
Anna does.
Most of the
She's
time it's
friendly.
me responding.
Yep. Pretty
'Cause I
much
do
all the
social
time.
media.
Yep.
So you get to chat with me.
We also want to hear if you have any places you'd like to hear covered on the podcast,
Heck
or
yeah.
scary places in your hometown, or places you've been to that we haven't covered yet. Send them in. We love recommendations from people. So,
We want to hear it.
yep.
Until next time, friends.
In the meantime, please do not
Don't
use a Ouija board.
do it.
Don't have a seance.
Don't do it.
Don't summon demons.
Nope.
Watch movies about people summoning demons.
Don't become friends with the devil.
Don't. He's mine.
He's his Annie's.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. So sorry.
So sorry.
Yep.
Be safe.
Be safe. Be kind to each other. Don't spread COVID.
Yeah.
Wear a mask. And don't do a seance.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Okay, bye.